Hello there, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel. I'm making a layout for the Rainbow Crush hosted by Tara from the Paper Snob. This month's color is coordinating colors. So if you look at this wheel, I had a hard time deciding what I was going to do, but then I was like, red and green. Yep, you said it. Christmas. Christmas in July. Perfect timing, right? I thought I would go ahead and scrap some photo cards that I received. This was in 2023, I believe. But so if you notice earlier, I flipped another layout that I did, and it had that pattern paper, that red one that's on that bottom layer right there. And I thought, you know what? That's really pretty. I'm going to actually do that. I don't do that very often. I usually start with a whole new paper, but I thought for this case, I'm just going to go ahead and use it. So because I'm doing red and green, I did find this green striped paper. I cut it down to 11 by 11, and I'm going to go ahead and mat it right there in the middle. And then I had some scraps I was going to use. Now, I wasn't really sure how I was going to make this layout. We only received two photo cards this year. And one of them, the one over here on the right, there's actually three smaller ones, which I am going to cut out. And then the other one on the left, the one I'm showing now, is actually circle because it's the O in the word joy. Originally, I thought, I'm going to use that as kind of my title, but you'll see in a minute what I end up doing. So again, I'm not really sure how I'm going to place these. It's really hard to determine it because I didn't really want to show the families on the photos because, I didn't get their permission, and I thought, well, let me just cover them with some Post-it notes for now. But that kind of made it hard for me to visually imagine what I was going to do. So right now I'm just kind of working on the layout, and I thought I was going to do some like red and green layering, which is exactly what I'm going to do. But before I do that, I grabbed some of these stamps, stamps of stamps, and they're Christmas kind of vintage style. And I thought, you know what, that's actually kind of fun. Now, I've mentioned it before. If you watch my videos, or if you're subscribed to my channel, I don't usually do a lot of mixed media in my scrapbooks. And I don't know why, because I actually love the look and I love playing with inks and all that kind of stuff in my junk journal. But for whatever reason, I don't do it on my scrapbook layouts. I think I just kind of panic a little bit. But I did a little bit of mixed media on this one, which I was really excited about. So I thought these postage stamps would be great because they coordinate with the idea that we got those pictures in the mail, and that was why I grabbed those. So I'm just using black and I'm stamping kind of all over. I'm not going to bother so much with that left side because I know I'm going to cover it. So you see how I had put that paper there to see, okay, how far do I need to go? Because, why bother? But here I'm just kind of deciding, do I want the green or do I want the red? I actually do like the red because, like I mentioned earlier, I did like the red, green, like kind of the alternating the colors. So one side was torn already, and I decided to tear the other side. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down on that left side. Now, I wanted to put this red one here, but I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. So I just keep kind of playing with it, and I'm just like, nope, I don't like it. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down because I do like the way that looks on the side. So once I do that, I stop my filming and then I go to my Cricut and I'm going to make a title for that lower right hand side. So I did decide to use the word joy, but now I'm using it in my title instead of using it on that photo that I mentioned earlier. So I just went to Cricut Design Space. I looked up the word holiday and I also looked up the word joy, and I just started kind of mixing things together. I also put some holly on there, and then I did an offset for the entire thing. Now the fun thing is I used everything except for that word holiday is cut from scraps of that paper collection. And this is from my Mind's Eye. It's an old collection. I think it's called Sleigh Bells, something like that. But so I used the green on the green papers, the red on the red papers, or the red pattern papers and green pattern papers. And even the word joy is a pattern paper. And even the offset is also another part of this pattern paper. So I really like that because everything coordinates. And I'm also using scraps. So that's the purpose, right? We're trying to use all our scraps. But I went ahead and got a black pen because I felt like that word joy was just kind of lost in that background. So by just slightly outlining it, I thought it really kind of made it stand out a little bit more. And this is just a really thin black pen, nothing fancy or anything like that. And I just kind of scribble. I don't worry about it being super straight or anything like that. But look at how cute that looks right there. And then, so right where I have that white piece of paper, that's where that other photo is. And my first thought is, I'm just going to keep the whole thing on there, but that joy, that just seemed like a lot. So I have some pre-cut red, green, and white papers that I bought years ago, and I just have them on my desk. So I decided I was going to put that red piece there, and I'm going to cut out the circle of the photo that I showed earlier, or sort of showed earlier from the photo. And I'm also going to use that red piece once I mat it or put a lighter color on as a journaling spot. So back to the title, I did decide to do a little bit more mixed media. Again, I'm out of my box on this one. And I just put some color right behind the title because, again, I felt like it was getting a little bit lost in there. Not a lot, but just kind of makes it stand out a little bit more, and I really like that. So I put that down on there. And I like the way this is turning out. I think the papers I'm using, I'm really excited about it because everything, like I said, is coming from those scraps. So I won't have any more scraps left. And then I'm going to cut a piece of paper from the cardstock. Again, you see how it looks like a very light wood grain? And I'm going to put that in the middle of that red piece. I'm going to adhere that down. And then I'm going to cut out that circle of that photo. Now, this one underneath, it's so funny because it got stuck there because of the Post-it. It looks kind of fun because it, like I mentioned, there's 3 smaller photos, but they're kind of wonky the way they're set. And again, it was kind of hard to place because I was trying to make the middle one a little bit more even. Oops, got a little glimpse of my friends there. So you'll see at the end, I do have a picture of the entire layout, but I like blocked out the faces. So you'll see it. It'll make a lot more sense. But you see what I'm talking about? So I kind of offset those photos, and then right there in that bottom right-hand corner of that now journaling spot, that's where I'm going to do my journaling. I also decided that it needed a little bit more embellishments, so I am going to stamp some more of those postage stamps, and I'm going to add some inking to it, and then add some more decorations right there where I'm pointing because it gives me like a diagonal look on the embellishment. So I think it still really coordinates and it looks really good. So anyhow, I hope you agree with that. But really quick about the Rainbow Crush Challenge. So every month, Tara from the Paper Snob, and it's a Facebook group. And if you looked in the information box, all the links will be there. If you want to join us next month, it's definitely something that's fun to do. So every month, Tara gives us a color that we're supposed to work on, and at least 70% of our layout needs to be that color. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this month was coordinating colors, so it made us think a little bit more, but it's still super easy and it's super fun. And to me, it always kind of gives me a chance to really look at what I have in my stash and use things that I may or may not have used before, or definitely didn't think about using in a certain way. So it's really kind of fun, and everybody is like extremely talented. Believe me, you got to go through and check out all the scrapbookers, because everybody's scrapbook's different. You can tell from mine. Mine's very basic. I use my embellishments. I like to use my Cricut a lot when I scrapbook, especially for titles. And in this case, I'm using a little bit of mixed media, which I was actually really, really excited about. So again, make sure you hop along, check out all the different scrapbookers, leave some comments. We all love comments. I hope you enjoy this video. And if you do, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I'd appreciate it. I answer any questions. If you had questions or any comments, I definitely appreciate them. But it's a lot of fun. And not only is there the Rainbow Crush Challenge that Tara hosts, but she also hosts a couple of different ones. So definitely check out that Facebook page, because if you're not interested in the Rainbow Crush, you may be interested in one of the other YouTube hops that she hosts. But thank you again for watching. I truly do appreciate it, and have fun hopping around. Bye.